Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Since the last episode, I've had a lot of time to think. If you remember watching that one, I spoke about the fact that eBay has restricted my account for 7 days. And I spoke about how now I don't even know if I want to continue with the platform. Well, since then, I believe I have had time to kind of clear my head and talk through all the things that I need to discuss with myself in regards to what I do with A, my reselling business as a whole, and B, my eBay business. Because whilst we can talk about quitting eBay, you guys need to remember that this business has been making me between £6,000 and £10,000 worth of revenue per month, and that gives me between, say, £1,500 and £3,000 a month worth of profit. That's obviously quite a significant amount, and to lose that from a business would be quite a big deal, especially when I don't have that many other sources of major income, as eBay is quite a large one for me. Regardless, so I think it is in my best interest not to sell on eBay anymore. Now, that's not necessarily because the platform is bad. As a matter of fact, I did have a lot of fun in my couple of months selling on there, and if it wasn't for the restrictions to begin with, I would have continued to sell on the platform probably for years to come, as I was making quite a good business with it and scaling at quite a decent speed. But now I'm questioning the whole reselling business as a whole, because with eBay being a major source of income, the next question is, what do I do next? Where do I move to? I'm thinking, do I move over to Amazon? Do I move over to somewhere else? And I've had a lot of time to look on all the different sites to kind of streamline my thoughts and my businesses and ultimately understand where I want to go in the future. If you guys watched a previous video of mine, I said that I wanted to make £100,000 by the time I was 25 at the latest. So I needed to think about ways that I can do this. And to be honest, whilst reselling has been a great source of income, there have been some major downsides that have come with it. Obviously, it's a good source of money, but the amount of work that goes into it is intensive. And this might seem like a minor thing for the amount that you compensated for, and I would agree, it pays the same amount as a decent job. However, the thing is, you're not after a job here, or I was not. I'm after building businesses. And in my opinion, the difference between a business and a job is how much work you have to do. Admittedly, eBay was not a full-time thing for me, as it only took up like 4 hours a day, but if you're doing 4 hours a day of stressful work and it's on your mind all the time, are you really running a business? In my eyes, I want all of my businesses to be as automated as possible, as quickly as I can make them. That way I can move on to the next thing and hopefully build up a portfolio of businesses and income streams which will help me on my goal. And with reselling being so very hands-on, the question is, how do I make this work in a way that's efficient for me? So I looked across the board. I was thinking about Etsy, I was thinking about Amazon and some sites to sell used clothes on. But I think realistically, Amazon is a lot of work. And I know this might not make much sense to people who don't resell, as many people would love to have a profitable eBay or Amazon business. And I'd agree, but it is a lot of stress and it requires everything to be learnt again. So I'm thinking maybe close my Amazon endeavors. I think in terms of reselling, I'm going to focus on my drop shipping store for my watches. Not everything in the store will be drop shipped, however, most things will be. Right now I have quite a lot of stock from my eBay shop selling watches, but on top of that, drop shipping will allow me to fill out the store a lot more. Obviously, if I can get the products to customers fast enough, which I believe I can, we won't have a problem. And it will allow me to continue my watch business, something that I am becoming quite passionate about, and also something that I have a lot of knowledge about on a different platform. It will also take away the potential for restrictions, as unlike on places like eBay and Amazon, where you have to have everything approved by the platform, there's kind of a lot more looseness as to how you can run your own site. And it really is a case of market forces which will determine whether you're successful or not, in the sense of if your website doesn't look good, if the listings aren't good, people just won't shop with you. Now, obviously, it's important to keep in the constricts of the law, and I don't think that's a problem at all, right? As you guys know, I have done my best to operate an ethical and fair business, simply reselling watches, but eBay still seems to have a problem with it. But I think if I continue this method of operation, being a completely fair business person who does what I can for my customers, no one will have a problem buying from me over on my Shopify site. And if you guys also remember, I did actually talk about the fact that I made my first sale on Shopify using Facebook Marketplace, so somebody came across from there to buy an item. So clearly the website is clean enough to make people actually want to shop there and make people actually comfortable to buy, so I don't think there's any problems. I generally think I am good enough to build a website that's okay for people to want to shop on. So for that reason, I think everything there is set up. I just need to import as many watches as I can. Right now I've got about 125 items on the shop. I need to insert at least another 200 to get to where I need to be to fully officially launch a shop. Then we can talk about running ads that are paid and all that kind of stuff. But right now, I've got a lot of watches that I can advertise, in the sense that I can make a lot of content with all of these watches. There's loads of different types. I can put them on different social media channels. But what I'm trying to say though really is, whilst I've had a lot of fun selling on different platforms, I don't really think I'm going to start any more reselling businesses. I have quite a lot of clothes that I want to resell, some of which I actually bought from thrift stores. So once that's gone, maybe that'll be the end of that. And obviously in terms of my watch stock, I can sell it on numerous different platforms still until that all sells out. But then the question is, how do I keep that momentum going? Because with eBay now being something that I don't want to continue to do because of the associated risks, how do I keep that business momentum growing? I'm going to try some other different methods to make money. As like I said, selling watches has been great fun, but it's very, very hands-on. If I can do more passive income streams, I can make more money as I have to spend less time on each business. So I'm looking for quite a few business models to get into. I don't necessarily have an idea as to how I'm going to start them up fully, but I want to start things like a subscription-based business, as that would be a great recurring source of revenue for me, and that would obviously make the business quite easy to run and quite hands-off depending on what it is, especially if a lot of the work can be outsourced. On top of that, I'm looking to start numerous different YouTube channels. Right now I have this one, which is quite okay, but it is also quite a niche subject, as I'm talking about my personal experiences with business. If I made a more objective channel, which is directly focused on making money, I think I could have some luck there. And I've seen in the past how YouTube channels can make me quite a lot of money, so I think if I was to put all of my efforts into that, it could work. Now, to be honest, I've made quite a bit of money in the couple of months that I have been selling on eBay. So the question is, what do I do with that cash? Instead of starting up from the ground with a dropshipping store, as well as the one that I have right now, I'm thinking of actually buying already existing stores with decent amounts of cash flow and revenue coming in. From there, it would be very easy to automate the work, getting somebody else to manage the orders and processes. So that is something that I'm genuinely considering. However, many of the decent businesses that you'd like to buy are going for thousands of pounds, if not tens of thousands of pounds. So I have to do some thorough market research into whether that is actually a good investment and whether it's something worth it for me. But I think buying existing stores could work, as like I said, I have the experience if I need to run it myself, and also now I know that if a store is established and successful, I can simply outsource that work and get somebody else to do it, leaving me with a portion of the profits for basically just buying the business. So as stressful as it might be at the moment, I think this is just an element of being a business person. The truth is, you can map out all of your plans in any way you want, but the sad truth, nothing ever goes to plan, nothing ever goes 100% the way you'd like it to, and that's not necessarily a problem. But the difference between a successful business person and somebody who fails is that they have to think on their feet. I didn't expect that my eBay store would be something that I wouldn't be able to do, say 6 weeks ago, but as soon as I knew it, I'm already thinking about new methods that I can try to actually make more money. And hopefully this is going to be even more profitable than my eBay store. But it does require a lot of work. So I'm definitely looking into different ideas, experimenting with different concepts, and seeing what I can actually manage to do. Thank you for watching though, and I'll see you again soon.